Can you beat Pokemon Emerald with just a single Luvdisc? That is what we're going to be trying to figure out in today's video. What's up, everybody? Gamertag here, and happy Valentine's Day, by the way. Whether you're sitting at home or you're spending it with loved ones or friends or what have you, hope you have a wonderful and safe Valentine's Day. I also chose Luvdisc since February is I technically the month of love, but also there's nothing else that's really heart-shaped, and I honestly just felt like, well, you know, I haven't really used a water type outside of a starter, so this seemed like the perfect opportunity. Now, I know when I was a kid, I did not like Luvdisc, and I only didn't like it because I thought it was just objectively useless, and, you know, consequently, it is useless. But that's not important here. What is important is that we're doing a Luvdisc video, and it's going to be fun, and... Oh, that is not a good Luvdisc. Okay, well, this is what we're dealing with here. So we have terrible attack, special attack, and HP, but we're fast. I mean, pretty much we're fast, and that's basically it. And our defenses are decent. Most importantly, we don't get a good water move until we get Surf. So we ended up getting a Relaxed Nature, which ironically hinders speed. But we name her Barracuda, like that song by a band called Heart. Also, it's heart-shaped. I honestly considered Nirvana if it was male, but then I realized that I wanted a female Luvdisc because it's more often female, and, well, we can actually avoid attract from some of the trainers that like to use it, because only female Pokemon use it. So, early game, we are just fighting trainers, and mostly we're focusing on attack, and, well, mostly attack, and kind of HP. We can't really find consistent special attack early game, but also our first gym is Roxanne, so I'm not that worried about it. But interestingly enough, we got a perfect IV in special attack. Perfect of 31. Well, 31 or 30, I don't know for sure. But it's honestly insane to me because I don't think I've ever had a perfect on any stat in any of these runs in Gen 3. Maybe not even Gen 2, but we're going to fight Roxanne. As I mentioned, I'm not really worried about Roxanne. Her first two Geodude are both one-shots with Water Gun. Now, we do have Charm, and we're going to use it on her Nose Pass here. And the reason why is because of Rock Tomb. Now, I know Rock Tomb isn't the most accurate, but we only have Water Gun. I know if we had, like, a Mudkip, we'd also only have Water Gun, but also with Mudkip, we'd have 50 base special attack. So she is going to just simply use her last potion, and we can just simply take her out with a Water Gun and get the win. I don't know if we necessarily needed Charm, but honestly, considering we're going to have much harder fights than this, I don't feel like it's really a big deal. I mean, I don't know if it would have made too much of a difference, but at least we got that out of the way, and we can just quickly make our way to Slateport. Now, I only came here because you can actually find Oddish here, and while we had to level up quite a bit to be able to take down those Oddish give us effort values, or EVs, for special attack, and we're going to need every bit of special attack that we can get. So we're going to fight Brawly now at level 25 after loading up on some special attack. I know we're not doing a ton of damage, but at least we're still doing damage. Now, we do take an unfortunate crit just before we take out Machop, but I'm not super worried about the crit because Meditite here won't attack. Well, I mean, it will, but it just goes for Focus Punch, and as long as you're attacking them after they go for Focus Punch, it will never land. So we take it out easily, hit Charm on Makuhita, and then just keep spamming Water Gun until we eventually take it out. Alright, so that is 2 badges down, and now it's gonna be May, because we have the May fight before Mauville City. Now, I was honestly dreading this fight. I was terrified of this fight because of her Grovyle, and I did try this at 27, but 27 was just not enough. we were either taking too much damage or we weren't doing enough. And I think it was just more that we weren't doing enough and that we kind of have to basically use tackle against it as well, so we beat a bunch of Poochyena. Now, the good news with Pokemon Emerald is, again, EV reducing berries. I'm not sure if I've mentioned that already, but they're going to come in handy so we can get rid of stuff we don't need. So we were actually grinding for Watson, and we found this shiny Oddish, which is a 1 in 8,192 chance. Now, nowadays, it's half that at 1 in 4,096. But the thing that I'm excited the most for with this Oddish is that we can actually use it. Not in battle or anything, but it gets access to Flash, which we're going to need for Victory Road later when we go through that. And the fact that we can actually use it is kind of exciting because we can keep it with us. And I'm excited to do that because the last time we found a shiny was in the Beedrill run, and we can't really use a Caterpie. But yeah, as I mentioned, I'm not looking forward to Watson. And I was grinding for Watson, and a 39 is just not it. I don't know if it's just that we're not doing enough damage, or that we take too much. And ironically, we're at level 40, which one level isn't really going to make a big difference. But then I remembered that we gained 4 in special attack because of the Macho Brace. Because of that, Voltorb is now an automatic super potion because it's in range, which it was a range for that, and it's automatic at level 40. So because of that, we only have 1 super potion left. And we also had the Cherry Berry to heal the paralysis on Magneton. Of course, Manectric is going to just paralyze us again. Now you can see how much damage Shockwave is doing. It's doing, I think that was about 30, but we do end up winning. Thankfully, we weren't really paralyzed and unable to move at all, so albeit maybe we got really lucky, but I will take the win. Attract or not, I'll take the win. We can finally move on to Maxie. Honestly, Maxie is just really bad. Not just because he has a Camerupt and we have secret power to confuse his Golbat. Or Zubat. It's a Zubat in this game. I don't know why it's a Zubat in this game, but a Golbat in Ruby and Sapphire. I wish they would have kept it a Golbat because it would have made it much more interesting. But he's really easy, and now we finally have an easy gym fight against Flannery. So her Numel, Slugma, and Camerupt are all going to be one-shots with Water Gun. Torkoal is going to survive just because it's naturally bulkier than the 3 that I just mentioned. But thanks to us being the same gender as her Torkoal, she's just going to go for Body Slam, not get the paralysis, and we just easily take her out, and it's an easy first try victory. I know we had a first try against Roxanne and Brawly, but it just feels like it's been forever since we had an easy gym fight. And I think it's just because we spent like over 2 hours on Watson. But now we can fight our dad in the game, Norman. Yet Norman is the player's dad in this game, which I still don't know how I feel about it. It's just kind of weird because it actually says dad, and I'm like, well, he's not my actual dad, but you know, whatever. So we did actually lose this on our first attempt because Linoon, now it goes for Belly Drum here, which can't work because his health is too low, but it actually attacked us with Headbutt and Slacking finished us off. But this time we take out Linoon, hit Charm on Slacking, and then we go for Attract. Now, interestingly enough, Slacking must really want Barracuda here to be its Valentine because it didn't even land a single hit. Which is crazy because it's 50% chance to attack versus not attack, and vice versa, but we end up winning because of Attract. I guess Slacking must be interested in Luvdisc. Not the pairing I would have put together, but hey, you know what? I guess the game just ships them, I don't know. But last May fight that is required, and this was really easy. We almost one-shot everything on her team. The only damage that we take is Fake Out from Lombre, so really easy time. It's nice when you actually have a good move like Return Now over Tackle. But now we can move on to the Flying Gym against Winonna. So her first 2 Pokemon are both one-shots with Return and Ice Beam. Next out is her Pelipper. Now her Pelipper can annoy a little bit with Protect. And she does confuse us here with Supersonic, but all she did was protect for 2 turns in a row, and interestingly enough, we hit ourselves on both of those turns. It wouldn't have made a difference anyway. Skarmory is going to be a 2-shot. Now she does heal herself with a Hyper Potion, and then we take her out with Surf and Ice Beam. Altaria is a 1-shot with Ice Beam, being her ace, and as it goes down, getting us the win. So that is 6 badges now. Now we have the fight against Maxie. Now there is another fight, but I'm just skipping past. It's just a double battle, but we just spammed Surf the entire time. So kind of uneventful. That, and you have Steven Stone in the fight too, so you have to talk about both of them, and it's a mess. But Maxie is really easy. Honestly, if I'm giving my opinion on both him and Archie, personally, I think they are easily the 2 worst villains, maybe in all of Pokemon, because they still never use Hyper Potions or Full Restores, and their motives are just terrible. But now we can fight the Psychic Gym Leaders and throw out the Shiny Oddish as a sacrificial fodder, or sacrificial weed, or whatever. Now, they won't actually fight you with 1 Pokemon, so you have to have something to sacrifice. So, what better to sacrifice than the Shiny, right? Besides, we did it with Caterpie. We gotta keep up the consistency here. So, we get a lucky crit and take out Xatu. Now it is a 2v1 versus both Solrock and Lunatone. Now they set up the Sun and Light Screen, and we're not doing much damage at all against Lunatone, despite the Shell Bell recovery. Unfortunately for us, they are going to end up putting us to sleep with the Lunatone here as we crit the Surf. So that is going to use up their 4th and final Hyper Potion. I'm not sure. I know they have Hyper Potions because it's 1 per person. Just 4 in 1 fight just seems insane to me. But we somehow survive the Psychic from Lunatone with just the skin of our teeth. Wait, does Luvdisc have teeth? Well, either way, we survive, wake up, and take them out with Surf and get the win. I thought for sure we were going down from the +1 Psychic, but I will take a lucky win. Honestly, just a few more levels and we probably would have won. Anyway, so last for the bosses is Archie, which, as I've mentioned, Maxie and Archie are terrible, and we end up beating them both, no problem. I get that we have a water type, and I know Maxie had a Camerupt, but I cannot see any other Pokemon game. Can't think of any other game where the bosses have been this underwhelming. I mean, this is embarrassing. At least use a Hyper Potion or something. Anyway, we have to wake up Rayquaza here because it's upset because Kyogre and Groudon are fighting in the middle of Sutopolis. Now, for those of you that have never played Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the music here for when Rayquaza descends, that is playing right now, is actually the music used for Sky Pillar in the remakes, which are Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And I never actually knew this until I had first played Emerald. Now, I played Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire before I had ever played Emerald, so when I found that out, I just thought that was really neat and a fun little callback to Emerald. But now that that's done, we have the last gym leader, Juan. Now, he isn't too bad. A lot of his team can't really do anything to us, but the Pokemon that I always dread is his Kingdra. I'm not exactly sure why Game Freak thought giving a gym leader a Resto-Chesto double team strategy was fair, but honestly, he's not going to be doing that much damage to us, so I don't think we're really going to be in any danger. Then we have a secret weapon. So, most of his team, again, can't really do anything. Thankfully, no paralysis from his Body Slam. I was very worried when I saw that Body Slam. Crawdaunt is going to be a 2-shot. Now, he is going to use a Hyper Potion. I was hoping with the Rain, because he used Rain Dance, that we would have one-shot Crawdaunt with Surf, but it just hangs on. Last out is his Kingdra, and now we can unveil our secret weapon, being Attract. And we're just going to use Return. He is going to be immobilized by Love. Now, interestingly enough, not only did he never hit range for a Hyper Potion, but he also never used Double Team. And I know we had used Attract on him, but I figured he would have at least have used it, like, once. But anyway, it's an easy win for us, and we are finally ready for the Pokemon League. But before that, we're gonna take the lunch money from this poor helpless child named Wally. Now, I'm not sure why he's wandering Victory Road without his parents, but we need someone's parents to find their lost child. I don't even know if they ever do, but anyway, we're gonna be trying the Elite Four at level 65. I'm not confident that this is the level we're going to end up at, but we have rare candy since our EVs have been long maxed. So we're going to see how this goes. But before we do the Elite Four, I just want to remind all of you to simply comment for the algorithm. Now, I know that seems probably a little silly, but hey, he will thank you, and most importantly, I will thank you. Well, his picture might thank you. I don't know. Maybe it'll visit you in your dreams. Anyway, first up for the Elite Four is Dark Trainer Sidney. Thankfully, we one-shot his Mighty Anna, so we don't have to deal with Sand Attack. He pretty much never attacks for the entire battle, so again, I wasn't dreading this fight at all. I knew we would win this. I could have won this with my eyes closed. He's like Bruno in Gen 1. It's impossible to lose. Shiftry is going to survive, thanks to it having more HP than Cacturne. But Double Team doesn't do anything, so we take him out. Crawdon is going to be a two-shot with Surf, going for Swords Dance. Shocker, he didn't attack. Last out is Absol that just goes for Swords Dance. Citrus Berry takes him out of healing range, so we just take him out with Surf and get an easy and unsurprising first try victory. Next up is Ghost Trainer Pheobe, and we really lucked out here. So her Dusclops can go for Curse, unless you just crit Surf for the one-shot, so that's first Dusclops down. We knew we'd take a two-shot against Bandit, but we just crit the Ice Beam for the one-shot. Her second Bandit, we just go for Ice Beam. She goes for Shadow Ball. No crit, so we have to take her out with Surf. Her Sableye is going to be a two-shot. Now, I thought about Ice Beam. We just go for Surf. She goes for Double Team. I really thought she would heal there, but she doesn't. Her last Dusclops is a one-shot with Surf. I have no idea how we got 3 KOs from a crit, but that's just insane luck for us. Unfortunately, all the luck in the world is not going to help us beat Glacia at 68. Now, we were hit with Icy Wind from the Glalie that we had just knocked out, so that's why she outsped us. I know she froze us, but given how low our health was, that wasn't going to even make a difference. So we're going to level up to 75 and try again. Now, her first Celio will always go for Hail, and even when Hail goes away, she'll just use it again. So it's inevitable that it's going to be going pretty much throughout the entire battle. Now, her second Glalie, or first Glalie, unfortunately uses Light Screen, which is problematic for us because of how much less damage we're doing. Thankfully, we haven't taken a lot of health, but the problem is that we don't actually two-shot her Celio. I don't know if it was just a low roll or anything, but that's really problematic for us because we can't two-shot her second Glalie, so we're going to be at only about half our health when the Walrein comes out, and that's actually problematic here. And the reason why is because we just can't quite do enough to take it out. And yes, she has a Citrus Berry, and I think that's part of it. But it's really a bummer because I thought 75 would possibly be enough, but sadly, it's not. So we're going to level up to level 80. Maybe 80 seems too high, I'm not sure. But her first Celio is going to go for Hail, as it always does. We take it out. Her first Glalie is going to simply be a two-shot with either Surf or Return. Now, she's actually in healing range here, and she will use one of her 2 full restores. We can just go for Return, and then a second Return to take it out as we're hit by Hail. Now, this is going to help stall out the Light Screen too, so that's good. Now, the Hail is gone, so she's just going to use Hail again. And now the Celio is a clear two-shot, so we should be able to win this fight pretty easily now. Her second Glalie comes out, Light Screen is gone. We're going to go for Surf, and she is going to hit Shadow Ball. And she is going to use her last full restore, now being in healing range. And this should allow us to take out the Walrein, barring a catastrophic collapse here. So we're going to go for Return as the Hail stops. And we do about a third. She's going to hit Body Slam, no paralysis. Body Slam again, no paralysis. She hits her Citrus Berry. And thanks to her being out of healing items, we get the KO with Return. And finally, we can move on to the last of the Elite Four, Dragon Trainer Drake. Now, he does protect turn 1, but Shogun's just going to get one-shot with Ice Beam. The ensuing Altaria is also a one-shot with Ice Beam. Now, Kingdra is where I was worried. So, we're going to hit return. He hits Dragon Dance. We just keep firing off returns as he's trying to just become fast. I swear, he's just... I don't remember what his attacking move is, and I see that it's Body Slam. Now, the problem is, he gets a massive crit with Body Slam, but we just survive on 8 health. But thankfully, Flygon is a one-shot with Ice Beam, and the Salamence afterwards is also a one-shot with Ice Beam, and we have taken out the first 4 members of the Elite Four. And now we can prepare for the next Water member, Water Champion Wallace. I honestly it always kind of bothered me that there's 2 water trainers in this game, being Juan and then Wallace, but it's fine. If we can beat him, there's a Steven Stone post-game fight. However, this took a long time. Now, ironically, we don't win this fight. We actually get poisoned off Sludge Bomb and have to reset. But the first attempt that we did at 81 is actually the first attempt that we and we actually make it to his last Pokemon, but we just don't hit hard enough. So we try several times over at 81, and it's not enough. We actually get hit with Toxic here. Now, he has 2 Toxic users, one being Tentacruel and the other being Milotic, which he ends up sending out both of them, one right after the other. Now, we can get through Milotic, but we don't have a way to heal Poison. And I can't just do like a Pecha Berry, and we can't use items in battle outside of held items. So if we could do that, we would have probably just won that fight. Actually, we probably would have just won at 81. I don't know. But at level 85, we're going to try this again. Now, this actually took several attempts here, even at 85. Mostly because of Toxic. Now, his Ludicolo does have Leech Seed as well, which if he hits that, we have to reset. He also has Giga Drain. And interestingly enough, only one time did he ever use Giga Drain. I'm not sure if he's just programmed to always go for Double Team or Leech Seed, but he didn't even use Leech Seed that much. Most of our resets were because our health dropped to 0, or we were hit with Toxic, but you'll notice that because the rain was out, Tentacruel actually went for Hydro Pump over Toxic. So because of that, we don't have to deal with Toxic, so we can just use Attract on Milotic. Now, I'm not saying that the Attract is why we took it out. Maybe on one of the turns when he was going to go for Toxic, but he was just going to go for Recover. Now, interestingly enough, every time he just started to stall out with Recover, we would just crit Return in one shot. Whiscash just goes for Amnesia, forgetting how to actually attack. Last out is Gyarados. So we're going to use Attract because Gyarados pretty much always finishes us off. Now, the bigger issue here is that we can pretty much only use Ice Beam because of his Intimidate dropping our attack. And we did actually freeze him the battle before this one, but because he was in healing range, it ended up not mattering. If we had went for Surf and then hit Ice Beam and froze him, we would have won. But thankfully, the only attack he gets off is a massive Hyper Beam, but he doesn't crit. So finally, Luvdisc has placed itself in the Hall of Fame. But we are going to be doing the post-game fight with Steven Stone in Meteor Falls. So he just has the same team that he had in Ruby and Sapphire. I'm not sure if it's the exact same set, but we're just going to level up here because I know we're not going to win it at 85. Now, we ended up actually attempting this at 93. Level 90, we just couldn't quite do enough damage to actually win. But Skarmory is going to be a 2-shot with Surf. Now, I did have to reset because he does have Toxic on this, which we obviously can't win if he uses Toxic. Aggron is a 1-shot with Surf. Cradily is a 2-shot with Ice Beam. Now, it can go for Giga Drain. Thankfully, it goes for Ingrain here, which if he goes for Giga Drain, we also can't win, but we got really lucky here on the first go, him using Ingrain. Now, notice we went for Return on Claydol, and this is because if we go for Surf, he actually goes for Light Screen. And if he goes for Light Screen, we just can't win because we just can't hit hard enough on Metagross and he takes us out. But we just survive on 19 health and he doesn't have a Citrus Berry either. And now we can one-shot our Maldo with Surf. getting us the win at level 93. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that run, and again, happy Valentine's Day to those of you watching. I hope you have a wonderful and safe Valentine's Day, whether you're with loved ones or you're alone. Because, you know, even if you're alone, you can still, you know, buy yourself chocolate and still celebrate it. Or watch movies or something. But I just want to say, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and of course, leave suggestions down below in the comment section. The next challenge we have is going to be getting into the Gen 2 starters with Pokemon Crystal with only one Chikorita, which is probably going to be a little bit rough to start. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.